Hello? Hold on, my light's weird. There we go. That's better. Hi guys, make sure when you pop on, when you can hear me, you let me know. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that I'm in the right group. That's always my biggest fear, that I'm not in the right group. Hi Amber, hi guys. Let me know that you can hear me okay, the sound is okay. I can see your comments. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, I think I'm in the right group, correct? Tell me I'm in the right group. Let me know for sure so that I don't make a giant fool of myself. Though I just may, anyways. Amber and Amber, hello. Hi Shauna, hey Lise, hi Katie. Lisa will send me a text message if I am in the wrong group. I believe everything's good, everything's right, everything's correct, and we're okay to go. Thank you, you guys are so nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I get questioned every single day about my hair. It's just a shampoo. I'm blonde. I'm like very, very, very bleached platinum blonde. Okay, thank you Denise for the confirmation. Hey Melissa, hi Katie, hi guys. Okay, we're gonna get started. Hey Joe. So, hey Elise. My name is Lene Freeman Davis. I obviously am a mascara artist. My topic, my tutorial that we're gonna do today is a hack, just like the hacks that you've seen prior to this one with EverRed. Mine is all about the EverRed bundles. Actually, there are two EverRed bundles that are amazing, 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 amazing. So, and I know that you guys have seen different artists, other artists do their hack in multiple different ways. And I don't know that I necessarily do anything different, but I'm gonna do my entire face regardless, just because I want you to be confident in knowing that it doesn't matter how you do your makeup as long as you are good with it. There's not a right or wrong. There's not a correct brush. There's not a correct application technique. You're not doing it wrong if you like it. If it turns out the way you feel good and love and everything, then you're right, okay? All of our tools and all of our colors are designed specifically for certain reasons, but one of the greatest things about mascara is the versatility that all of these colors and all of these tools and everything provides. So that's where we're gonna go. First thing you need to know about me is I cannot function watching myself in a camera without touching my hair. So it's going out of the way for just a minute because it's like super distracting how much I have to touch my hair, because I can't stand to look at it being weird and craziness and all over the place. So I gotta get rid of it. Hold on, that clip isn't the right one I want to use. So the other thing you need to know about me is prior to mascara, I had no idea about makeup. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to do my own makeup, let alone somebody else's, and I did not have any confidence, and that showed in my own self-confidence. I didn't feel like I knew how to do my makeup, and so I was at a place that I wasn't always feeling good about myself. It wasn't until mascara popped into my life that I finally gained confidence in my looks and how I feel about myself and things because of this makeup, because it's so easy to use. It's so versatile, and it's basically like gorgeous, amazing makeup for dummies, which I 100% fall into that category. So prior to becoming an artist, I had no idea what I was doing, and then I joined on a whim. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just try it, and I couldn't even imagine if I didn't. So that's where we're at. So I am going to, like I said, do my whole entire hack. And I actually do my hack just a little bit differently than a lot of the ones that you've seen. The reason that we're doing the same thing over and over again is because there's always new faces here, there's always new people, and each one of us may be able to affect or give somebody an idea that somebody else wouldn't have been able to. So even though you're seeing the same thing, you might find something a little bit different, which I hope. I hope that, you know, I'm not gonna waste your time. It's just, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I apologize if I'm not reading your comments. I get super, super sidetracked really easily. I'm a talker. I'm for sure a talker. So I'm gonna do my very best to make this as fast as I can without excess talking. First thing, I cleansed my face in the shower this morning with my milk cleanser. I have a hair, there we go. I cleansed my face with my milk cleanser, and then I used my milk toner in between there, like well, I do it a couple of different ways. This morning I actually did it in the shower, but if you are one who is like me, who has peach fuzz. I have a lot of Hispanic blood in my, as pasty white girl as I am, I have a lot of Hispanic blood in my lineage, and I have very, you can see my roots are dark. I get very, very dark in the summer. I get really tan, and I have dark hair on my arm, but for some weird reason, the hair on my face is like bleach white. When I was applying this makeup with that peach fuzz on my face, my makeup was not lasting very long. It wasn't looking as smooth. It wasn't looking as flawless. I know there's a lot of misconception about, hey Michelle, I know there's a lot of misconception about, oh, if I shave my face, it's gonna go back darker and thicker and heavier and I'm gonna look like a hairy banshee. Not the case at all. I promise you that is 100% a myth. It is scientifically impossible for you to cut a hair and for it to one person also told me, I heard it's gonna grow back darker, it's gonna be a different color. If you cut off a hair, it's impossible for it to change color because you cut the end of it off. If I take my hair and I were to snip it right here, there's no way that this is going to change, and there's no way that this hair up here is going to get darker. And down inside your skin, down in that root, in that follicle, it just can't happen. So if you do not shave your face and you have peach fuzz, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get rid of that peach fuzz no matter how you do it, whether it's waxing, whether it's shaving, whether it's doing threading, which I love to do. That's one of my favorite ways to do it because it's much less aggressive on my skin than waxing. Shave your face. I promise you that your makeup will end up way more smooth. You'll get a much more smooth, flawless finish. Your makeup will last much longer because it's not sitting on top of the hairs. It will last way, way longer than it would if you had little hairs that it was sitting on top of. It's just gonna look better. You're gonna end up using less product, definitely. Every single day you'll use less product. And it also helps with exfoliating. It's going to help with that cell regeneration and turnover. It's a really, really, really non-abrasive way to help exfoliate your skin and turn over those skin cells. So shave your dang face. I promise you, it's amazing. It's the best. You love it. I was scared of it at first, worried like most people are about all of these myths that I had heard, but it's not the case at all. So don't be afraid of it. Okay, so I do my hack. I do my highlight and contouring the way that it works best for me. I gotta move these comments, you guys. Sorry, I'm getting super distracted. I promise you I'll come back to the comments when I'm done at the very end. So comment, ask questions, like, comment, and share as much as you possibly can. Share, 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 share. When you share, make sure that you are sharing this. Hit the share button down at the bottom and make sure when you're posting it to your own personal groups that you are tagging your artist for one, but you're also, you have a little comment or little details, an individual detail, something specific for that post. Because if you are just sharing to a bunch of different groups the same thing over and over again, Facebook will catch on to that and it will cause you Facebook problems, and I promise you don't want to deal with that. So share a ton, share as much as you possibly can, all of these videos. That's also how you're going to win our prizes. But make sure that you're adding your own comments. So the way I hack my skin, I'm old, guys, I'm old. And I have lots, I spent my 20s, well, my teenage years through high school and my 20s way over plucking my brows, and instead of using sunscreen, I lathered on the baby oil, tons and tons of baby oil. I wanted everything I could to be as tan, as dark as I could to make myself look like a piece of leather when I'm in my 40s and 50s, which I have succeeded. Tres Leches has completely changed my life and helped reverse a lot of those effects. But I still have a lot of damage because of it. Damage that I have to continue with something like Tres Leches in order to help it. So I have these really, really dark sunspots. I have a lot of freckling anyway. I have melasma here up across my hairline and down across my jawline on both sides. It's kind of, I don't know how well you can see it in real life, in person. It's pretty dark. Like I kind of almost feel like I have a 5 o'clock shadow when I don't have any makeup on. It's that dark. And so there's a couple of things that I have to do in order to color correct it the right way without having to cake on a ton of makeup. And I'm going to show you how I do that. And it's really, really, really simple. It's so easy to do. And it only is a matter of dipping your brush with your palette, whatever size your palette you're using. It's a matter of dipping your brush from here, you're dipping it here. That's it. That's the only difference. And so it's so easy to use. Even though I'm using a different color for it, I'm not having to dig through my makeup bag and find another concealer or a color corrector or anything like that, twist open the bottle, waste time finding the right brush. The simplicity of mascara is so incredibly amazing that it saves so much time, it saves so much money, and it allows you to use very, very, very minimal product. If you are using the color science technology to your advantage, it allows you to use very, very minimal product and still achieve full coverage. For people who have skin like mine, who have all of these, you know, 20-year-old mistakes that they made. And so I'm going to show you how I cover it. There's a couple of things that you can do in order to get the coverage that you want. I am fortunate that I don't have severe deep dark circles under my eyes, but I do have these little spots right here. You can see that, I'll show you. Guys, nobody ever sees my face this close without makeup on, so I must love you, and I must feel incredibly passionate about this makeup, and this is freaking me out to see myself so close, but it's gonna help my point. You can see this little bit of redness I have right here around my nose. The color, like the end of my nose, the ball of my nose, and just a little bit onto the bridge is a different color too. And it like a little bit of a red undertone, but it's just right here. And this is a genetic trait, my whole entire family has it. And then right here, this tiny little dot right here under my eye, that's it. And then I have you can see my melasma right here and right here that drives me crazy, and then my giant sunspot. Okay, so I'm gonna save you from having to see that so close again. I'm so sorry. That was really, really hard to do. So what I'm gonna show you is using so I am color matched. My color is Sandy. Sandy is brand new, and before Sandy I was using kind of a wheat and mango, back and forth wheat and mango mix, depending on how much sun I got that day or whatever. But right now I'm Sandy. So Sandy is my highlight color that I'm gonna use all over. But I want to, in order to cover these dark spots, you have to match the depth of the dark. So you can see that I have two different colors right here in my skin. This color right here, Sandy, matches really, really well, but this color right here is much, much darker. So my 20-year-old mistake was referring to me lathering on the baby oil and everything I could to get tan instead of using sunscreen like I should have in my 20s. So what I'm going to do is use a shade that's a couple shades darker. For me, it's going to be Goddess. And all I'm going to do is just stipple and tap right onto, I didn't get any on my brush. I'm just going to stipple, there we go. Stipple and tap right onto that color right there. And you can see already just by putting that color on there how much lighter it is by itself, even though this color doesn't necessarily match my skin tone. But look at how much it fades away, and it covers really, really, really well. And we're gonna keep going, but it covers really, really well. But instead what it's done is it's made a really, really warm spot on my skin. It's going to be so much easier and so much better and faster and more efficient for you to cover a warm spot than it is for you to cover a really, really dark spot. And so if you do that color correcting tip first before you add your highlight on top of it, then you're gonna achieve that coverage that you want without having to use a lot of product if you just use the right color instead of a lot of color on top of it. And color correcting this orange is way easier and way simpler than color correcting the dark. Now Jessica Wilson, if you watched Jessica yesterday when she did her color correcting hack, she recommended that you do it at the very end, so that you're not sweeping over the same thing. And that's a really good idea too. But the way I apply, especially in this area where my contour and my bronzer go, that wouldn't necessarily work for me in that instance right here. And so I do mine a little bit different, and that's why, and I'll show you, I'll explain as we go. So the same thing I do along my, I gotta move these again so I can see, along my jawline right here. And you're gonna see it makes me just a little bit orange, but not terrible. I mean, nothing that a tiny little bit of makeup won't cover up. And I'm using my 30-second hack brush for this. You guys, I very, very rarely use this brush. I only use it for coverage, and I only do this application for coverage when I, when I really, really want coverage. For the most part, I don't care about these things. I don't necessarily have to completely cover them, but when I do, that's when I use my 30-second hack brush. Now, for my overall highlight color, so I've covered those spots that, oh, I gotta do my, in the inner corner of my eye right here. Only cover where the spot is. If I were to take this orange all the way across underneath my eye, it's not going to have the correct effect that I want. You only want to do the color correcting right where you need the color correcting. You don't need to pull it over. Look at how much difference that is, you guys. It's crazy. And this doesn't even look orange on this side because the orange is only on top of that purple. And so what you see because of the mix of orange and purple is my neutral skin tone. And so it's just such a good trick. I love it. See, I mean, ta-da, it's magic. They're gone. It really is magic. Okay, for my overall highlight color, it doesn't matter whether you do your highlight or your contour first. For me personally, I do my highlight first because I have teenage acne scarring in my contour line. I have a little bit of scarring, a little bit of kind of divots and holes and things and marks in my skin right where my contour goes. If I were to put dark on top of those scars, then the scars would be emphasized instead of be hidden. If I put my highlight on first, then it's going to help de-emphasize that scarring and make it really, like, give really, really good coverage. In fact, I had a girl come over to my home the other day who, she was probably in her late 20s, not quite even 30. She's a mom of 2 little girls, darling, darling little girls, but she had severe acne through high school and very, very severe scarring. And she came over and we did a makeover on her, and I did this technique. I used her highlight first where her scarring was in her contour line, and then her contour on top of it, and it very much minimized her scarring. But she also had a lot of scarring right here on her cheeks and along her jawline where her contour doesn't go. And so we flip-flopped, we did the opposite. The combination of the two in whichever order you need it to be, because you need your contour on top here, but you need your highlight on top here. So if you use the combination of the two in order to color correct, you will color correct and you will minimize anything that bothers you. I promise you. You have to use a very, very light hand and be very careful about how, like, the amount of product that you're placing. You want very, very little, because these creams are creams. They go a long way. The biggest problem that people have with their creams is, or when they are not happy with their mascara finish, is because they've used too much. It's too cakey, it's too oily. It's because they've used too much. If you have any problem whatsoever with the wear throughout the day of your makeup, try going a lighter application and see what that does for you. If you've already, like, tested the color match and things like that. Okay, so you guys, I told you I talk way too much. I'm so sorry. So I do my I'm using Sandy, and I use my B squared brush to apply my highlight. It is my very, very most favorite brush. I cannot live without this brush. I love it. My kids love it. My husband loves it because it's so soft and it can tickle, it can tickle them. It's just the best brush. My kids, everybody loves it. This is the brush that I sell more than any other brush because I show my clients how I use this technique, and it just works really, really well. Because of the way this brush is designed, I'm going to show you compared to the Detail Hack brush. You can see if I hold these side by side, the bristles are a little bit longer on the B squared brush than they are on the Detail Hack brush. They're both very, very dense. They're both very, very tight. But because this is longer, it allows for a little bit more movement up here at the top of the bristles, as opposed to them being really, really tight and not stiff, because they're very soft still, but they're really packed in there. They're super dense together. And so if it's just, sorry, I told you I get distracted. And so these ones that are a little bit longer, it allows for more movement at the top. And what that does in your application is it allows for you to get a more full coverage without having to use as much product. It just gives you a really nice soft airbrush look. And so I love this brush, especially for me, for skin tone or, problematic areas like mine, because I can apply very, very little and still get a full coverage look, or not even a full coverage. Like, it doesn't have to look like you have a lot of makeup on. I personally prefer a medium coverage look, and that works. I like it that way. That's, fine with me. But using this B square brush lets me get that look without having to use a lot of product. And it covers up everything I need it to cover up. Look at that difference already, you guys. It's just crazy. I stipple just lightly my color right over the top. I mean, I'm just like barely, maybe I'll go like this. See how I'm barely touching? Like, it's just barely, I'm not like pushing in at all. I'm barely stippling here to get the coverage that I want wherever I want it. Okay, so this is my main overall highlight color, Sandy. When I color match my clients, I color match everybody with 2 colors no matter what. Everybody gets 2 colors. The reason being, and some get 3 highlight colors, sorry. I should say that. Some get 3 highlight colors. The reason being is because everybody needs an all over color. Everybody needs, in my opinion, everybody needs an accent color. The people that need 3 are the ones like me who need that little bit of goddess or whatever color it is to color correct those little bit of spots. So you can see how my eyelids are much, much lighter and way more red than the rest of my face. I'm gonna take my Detail Hack brush and I'm gonna do the same color, the same sandy that I put all over the place, right on my lids. What this does is it neutralizes my eyelids. Whoops, I got a little bit of contour right there. Hello, I'll fix that. This is a perfect example of making a mistake. All you do is wipe it off. So easy. Ta-da. I mean, you could probably want to use a makeup wipe to do that and not your finger. Oh, I got contour on my brush. That's why I keep doing it. There we go. Sorry. I need to not use that brush, I got contour on it. I'll use this one. Okay, so what that does is it creates a neutral canvas for your eyeshadows to go on, plus it makes it so that the veining, the discoloration in my eyelids, because as we get older, the skin on our eyelids gets thinner and thinner and you can see the veining quite a bit more. And I'm about to take a flying leap into my 40s, and like I said, because I didn't take care of my skin, I have lots of things that I'm having to deal with and correct. So when you do that, it just corrects it. It's so easy. Then I'm going to take my contour and I'm going to use my Detail Hack brush for my contour. So I use my B² brush for my highlight to apply my highlight all over the place. I'm going to use my Detail Hack brush for my contour and I'm going to use the contour indigo. And I love, love, love this color. It's super, super versatile. You can use it for so many different things. When I do my forehead contour, I pull it down from, you guys, I keep mixing my highlight or my colors in my different ones. See how I got my highlight right there? But because they're creams, they're super forgiving and so easy to use. I'm not gonna blend it in just yet. I'm gonna show you how I do it without blending it. So I pull from my hairline down and same thing from my hairline up. Instead of going like doing a swipe all the way across. When I do a swipe all the way across, it leaves more of a solid line here and I have to work harder to blend that one out. If I pull it down from my hairline, then it makes like a more uneven contour line and it's much, much easier to blend it that way and not have to worry about that stark line that you have across there. So I'm gonna leave that just like that, but I'm gonna pull my contour down onto my cheekbone or under my jawline first. Sorry, go right under my jawline. And remember, you want this to be underneath the lower surface, underneath your jaw, as opposed to on the front surface or up onto your jaw, unless you have something that you're hiding or trying to correct here. In order to create that shelf effect with your jaw, you want the shadow to be on the bottom. We already have a natural shadow there. If you do, we're emphasizing it. If you don't, we're creating it. So you want that shadow to be underneath. So because if there's a shadow there, that means that there's a stark, like a step or a ledge. And that's what creates or gives the illusion of a more structured jawline, which we all want because a more structured jawline makes you look longer, more slender, more dimension in your face, which who doesn't want that? Okay, so make sure it's going right underneath and I go all the way back to my ear and then I blend it down, back and away. Now when you take your contour color and your highlight color underneath your jawline to kind of blend to make sure that your face and your neck match so that you don't look like a floating head, when you're doing that, you want to make sure that you keep the center of your throat right here light and bright. So the concept with highlighting and contouring is that anything that's light and bright, for people that are looking at you and the way our eyes work, anything that's light and bright will pull forward. And so the people that are looking at you, their eyes are going to be drawn to that light that's pulling forward. Anything that's dark is going to pull back. So, and diminish or minimize the size or the shape of it. So we contour all the way around the outside of our face and then down our jawline. So it ends up being the number 3, which is super easy to remember. Everybody can remember the number 3. But what the whole concept of what it's doing is this triangle that we have here in the middle, this triangle of light that we want to, that's where we want it to be the lightest and brightest because light pulls forward. And so we want people to look at the center of our face, at our eyes and our mouth when they're talking to us, when they're addressing us. So super, super easy concept, but if we don't know, if nobody's ever told us, then we wouldn't know, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna do my contour on my cheekbones. Oh, sorry, gotta finish my thought. So you wanna keep this section right here light and bright because you're gonna make yourself look like you had an instant neck lift. If it's light and bright right here and you have just a little bit of shadow back here, the center is gonna come forward and the back is gonna pull back, and it's gonna look like you've given yourself a little bit of a lift, okay? So if you're somebody like me who has multiple chins, this is a really, really easy way to help diminish the look of all of those things, okay? So, and like I said, there's not a right or wrong. I'm just teaching you how I do it and what works for me and explaining the reasons why it worked for me. So I'm seeing lots of comments, oh my gosh, I've been doing it wrong this whole time. I'm terrible. That's not the case. If you like how you're doing it, if it helps you or if it makes you feel better, it makes you feel beautiful, you absolutely are doing it correctly. So don't be worried. But if you want to try something different, step outside your comfort zone for just a little bit, try a little bit different technique and see what it does for you and see how you like it, okay? So this is the other thing that I'm going to show you, and then everything else is basically the same as anybody else. I take my contour. I have a very round face, especially when I smile. My face shape is very round. Because I have a round face and because I want to lengthen and slenderize my face, I want my contour line to be more of a vertical line rather than a horizontal line. So if you're somebody like me who has a really round face, the overall direction of your contour line, you want it to be up and down as opposed to side to side, okay? If you have a very long, slender, thin face, you want your contour to be side to side because what it's gonna do is it's gonna widen out those cheekbones just slightly and it's gonna give you more, the whole idea of it, the whole concept is for balance, is to achieve balance and not be too long, not be too wide, not be too round, not be too skinny, just to balance so that you look nice and even and symmetrical. And so depending on your face shape, you can choose how you want to contour. Because my face shape is round, I'm going to do my contour a little bit higher. So for the most part, in general, you want to start your contour, well, always, it's gonna be at the highest point of your cheekbone and then like one finger down below it, okay? So, but because I have a round face, and that's where the highest point of your cheekbone is, where if you did a fishy face, and sucked in, you can see it's right there. So that's really easy for me to judge. And for me, it's right where my hairline meets my ear, which is the same for most people. But because I have a round face, I'm gonna take that just a little bit higher. I'm gonna go like maybe an inch above that and bring it down just a little bit. So it's more of a vertical instead of a horizontal contour line. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna make my face go from being really round to lengthening and being a little bit more slender, which is my goal. Why I'm contouring. So I'm still hugging underneath my cheekbone, but I'm going at a downward angle more so than straight across. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Tiffany. I feel like, I totally do talk a lot, but but sometimes the way, I have a daughter who has autism, and so I have to explain things like the same thing multiple different ways in order for her to understand certain concepts. And because she's almost 16 now, because I've had to do that for so long, I kind of have gotten into the habit of doing that for adults as well. And so it makes it so that I talk a ton, so I apologize. Okay, I also did a tiny little hook underneath the balls of my cheeks. What that's doing is acting kind of like a push-up bra for your cheeks. It's giving even more lift and even round to my cheekbones so that my cheekbones look even more structured, even more like they'll pop even more. That tiny little bit of shadow. And again, this is indigo. You guys, this is not our darkest contour color, but our second to darkest contour color. And you can see how light my skin tone is and how like it's not as scary as it looks. Some people are like, oh my gosh, there's no way. This is indigo right here. This is Cola, and this is our Bella bronzer. So indigo is what I'm using. So it looks super, super dark, but you have the capability of making this as light or as dark as you want it to be. If you apply it a little bit too heavy, just blend it out. If it's too light, then just add just a little bit more. Super, super easy. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my B squared brush. At this point, I have all of my highlight applied, all of my contour applied. I am also going, before I blend everything, I'm also going to apply my Bella bronzer. So I take my B squared brush, And I'm gonna use the small end of my B squared brush. I already got just a little bit of product on there. But what I'm gonna do is right at the tops of my cheekbones, the highest point of my face is where the sun would naturally kiss me. So I'm gonna go right across where my contour line meets my highlight. So right in the middle, which is the biggest, most prominent, the most prominent, it's standing out the farthest point of my forehead. That's where the sun would naturally kiss me. And again, the very top of my cheekbone. Okay, I got way too much right here. Like you can see how much I accidentally got a chunk. I don't know how I did that, but I accidentally got a chunk off of my, out of my tin onto my brush. And so I applied it way too heavy right there. I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna show you that if you accidentally get too much, you're not gonna die, I promise. It's not the end of the world, you'll be okay. Okay, so the highest point's right here. That is everything I'm going to do. Now, because I got too much on my brush, you can take a makeup wipe. Every day of my life, I have makeup on my wrist. Look, I took a shower this morning, but this is left over from yesterday. Just get the excess off of my wrist and then tap and stipple. I'm actually gonna flip the brush around, and this is where again, this is how I do it. This is mascara according to Lene. It's gonna be different than how you do it. It's gonna be different than how your artist does it. It's gonna be different than how my kids do it, my friends, my sisters, my clients. Everybody does it a little bit different. And like I said, you're not doing it wrong. If you like how you're doing it, keep doing it that way. If you like the look and the overall finish, keep doing it that way. If you're having any issue, if you're having any trouble and you're not certain that what you're doing is right, see I have a little bit too much right there? All I gotta do is tap it. Easy. If you're not positive that what you're doing is correct, or you're not happy with how you're doing it, don't feel like you can't ask questions. You absolutely can. That's what this group is for. That's what this page is for. Just blend everything. See how nice and easy it all blends together? And I have highlight and contour, plus I have some warmth in my skin, and it's all blended. And even though I got too much, it's not the end of the world. So easy. Okay, I blended up into my hairline, even though, I mean, my roots are a little bit darker, but I'm still naturally a blonde. And you can pull it right up into your hairline without having any issues. Okay, so I still don't even have the color on my cheeks. And for some reason, I'm not getting comments. I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, okay, so I've covered up my spot. I did my highlight, my contour, my bronzer. Now I'm gonna do my accent highlight color. So this is when I told you in the beginning that for me, I color match everybody to 2 colors. If they need a color corrector, I color match everybody to 3 colors, and I mean highlights. So for me, because I needed a little bit of color correction where my melasma is and under my eyes, I used a 3rd highlight color. But the second color, the accent color, that for me and for most people, in my opinion, is linen. I feel like we have a few colors. Mascara is so magical that Kara has managed to create a few colors that it does not matter your race, ethnicity, skin tone. These colors look amazing on everyone, and linen is one of them. It doesn't matter if you have super dark ebony skin. It doesn't matter if you have like a goldeny bronze skin. It doesn't matter if you're very pale. Linen is a color that just looks amazing and gives a little bit of accent to every single person, and everybody can use it. Now, I'm not a huge fan of doing the super light, white, bright underneath my eyes right here. A lot of people do that, and that's totally fine. It's not my own personal preference, and so I don't pull my linen all the way up here underneath my eye. Instead, I do it about a finger distance below, right where my nose and my cheek kind of come together, and I just barely, I'll turn so I can show, oh, well, I'll have to turn this way. Well, I don't know if you can see this, but I just barely am tapping just a tiny little bit of color there. Whoa, that was kind of a lot. Don't do it when you're not looking, because that's hard to do. That's hard to judge. And then right in between my brows, straight down my noggin. I don't ever contour my nose personally because I already have a teeny tiny little child nose. And then right smack in the middle of my chin. I don't know why I'm not getting comments, but that's okay. Okay, now, if I feel like I have ever applied too much of my color corrector here, that's when I would also put just a little bit here to lighten and brighten so that there's not a different color between my jawline and my neck. Just like that. That's it. Take again my B squared brush, and this is the same brush I've been using all along. This has my highlight color on it and it has my bronzer on it, and that's totally fine. Because these creams go a long way, you don't have to have very much on your brush in order for it to get that full coverage like we talked about. And so there's very little on here, even though you can see it, and I'm using very little. So all I have to do is just stipple a teeny tiny bit and see how much that lightens and brightens that triangle of light in the middle of the center of my face. So easy to use. Blend this. Blend my contour right there, even just a smidge more, and blend this. Now, if you feel like, I know that, and I'm sure you guys know too, that when you're filming a video, your finish looks a little bit different on camera than it does in real life. I can see, I have a mirror right here, I can see my contour really well in real life, even though it's a little bit hard for you to see through the phone or your computer or whatever you're doing. So if it's not enough for you, if you need just a little bit more, add a little bit more. I mean, real life looks different but add a little bit more. There's nothing wrong with it. Do whatever you want. You're in charge. You're the boss. Okay, so highlight, contour, accent highlight, color corrector. Now I'm gonna do my blush. My blush is Ever Red. And I love it. It is a limited edition color. Now, if you don't know about this bundle, so here's my Ever Red right here and my B squared brush. This B squared brush, if you buy it all by itself, it's 36 bucks. If you buy Ever Red all by itself, it's $14, which is a total of 50 bucks. If you purchase the two of these together, you're going to save $10. So essentially, you buy this brush, you can choose to purchase this for $4. So there's an Ever Red bundle that you want to go talk to your artist. She'll send you the link for it. She'll help you find it, add it to your cart. It's going to save you 10 bucks on this amazing, glorious, perfectly wonderful color. Do you guys know that the color of the season is leopard? You'll find leopard everywhere. Have you seen 5 million leopard everythings in your Facebook feed, your fashion feeds? Leopard is the color of the season. And you know what goes amazing with leopard? Ever Red. It's like the best thing ever. So that combination is available for you to purchase Ever Red at a discount, or this at a discount, whatever. You get 10 bucks off when you purchase the two together. We also have I think it's called Sleigh Ride discount or bundle that includes what's this called? The B squared brush. It includes Ever Red. It also includes Pearl Illuminator and a compact. So that is the B squared brush for 36 bucks, Ever Red for $14, the Pearl for $14, and the compact for $12, but you get all of that for only 50 bucks. So you're saving even more. So if you are also in love with Pearl, you can do the combination of Ever Red with Pearl together with this brush and save even more money, and you get the cutest, freaking, most adorable little square compact to, I just saw Jocelyn's meshes. You get this cutest little compact to put it into. So even more savings. So talk to your artist about either one of those. So when I apply my blush, I very lightly stipple with the small end of my B squared brush. I prefer my blush to not be on the entire apples of my cheeks. My cheeks, when I smile, you guys, they take over my whole entire face. They are like crazy town. And so I don't want to apply blush to the entire apples of my cheeks, because that means that my blush is going to be clear up here under my eye, and I'm going to look like Santa Claus. It's going to be clear into my nose, and I mean, this is the apple. It's this big. It's going to go clear back. That's the 80s way of doing blush, and it's no longer. If you love that, if you love that look, power to you. Feel free, keep doing it. You look amazing. That's not my personal preference. I like to do my blush. I take my apple of my cheek and I split it in half right down the middle, and I apply my blush on the back half, the back circle. Okay, so if I'm looking at myself in the mirror, I turn sideways so that I can still see, my peripheral vision can still see, and then I go straight on at that angle, which ends up being like maybe a 45-degree angle to your face. I already put blush on there. So I'll turn sideways, stipple just a little bit, and don't worry if you get a little crazy, because it's creams. They ain't gonna kill you. and they're so easy to fix if you have too much. We've seen that over and over again on these other videos. Okay, so the way this brush is designed, and it's the same reason that I love it so much for applying my highlight, is the way it's designed is the bristles are so dense, so tight in the middle. And then as it gets longer and longer, it kind of fans out a little bit and it gets softer and softer. The bristles are longer on the inside, shorter on the outside, so you get this dome effect. And the combination of all of those things is what makes this brush blend out your blush perfectly every single time. All you have to do is tap and stipple and your blush will blend amazing without doing any work. All you gotta do is tap it. You guys, we can all tap. Perfect, perfect. The easiest blush application of your life. Oh my goodness sakes, that was amazing. I am gonna use my Know Your Angles brow brush to fill in my brows. I have my brows microbladed because, like I told you, I overplucked in high school. And I mean, if you look closely, you can see that I have very, very little brow hair, but I have the world's most amazing brow artist who does magic. But I have tons of scarring in my face because of, one, not washing my makeup all through high school. I went to bed with makeup on every single day and destroyed my skin. So I have like terrible skin because of that. But I also grew up as a major, major tomboy playing ball my whole entire life. I have been hit in the face with a softball more times than I care to count. Not because I can't catch, because I'm actually really good, but for some reason I always got hit in the face. And I have this scar from being hit in a softball right here, right inside my brow. It didn't break skin, but it caused a buildup of scar tissue underneath. And for some reason, when I overplucked, I lost all of the brows there. They never grew back. And the microblading doesn't take to it as well as it does in other areas. So I have this little spot right here in my brow that's a little bit lighter that I fill in. So I'm gonna take my Know Your Angles brow brush and my Cola contour right here. And I know you've seen this a bunch of times, but I'm gonna show you how I do it anyway for anybody new who wasn't with us before. I take the very tippy corner. So, sorry, that was pretty loud. You can see how that brush, I'll put it over the white. You can see how that brush is angled up at the top half, right up here, right at the top, that tippy corner. That's what I'm putting right here at the start of my brow. And I'm drawing my definitive line all the way across. Okay, you guys, has this been forever? Yeah, we're almost done. I'm gonna go fast. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I talk so much. Draw that definitive line. That's that's creating a really nice sharp edge and a shape for my brows, which are, we all know, the curtains to our eyes, right? They're like the beautiful drapes that you have in your home that showcase your window and your beautiful furniture. They're doing the same thing for your eyes. They're showcasing your eyes and our face shape. They really are such a beautiful frame for your face. Okay, so straight across the bottom, and then I fill in this tail here at the end, bring it down to a point. Now, because I have this scarring right here, I also, and it's my personal preference, so I should have only done one. Sorry, I did both at the same time. I'll stop doing this one and just show you on this one. So my personal preference also is kind of a more dramatic eyebrow. I try not to be a dramatic person, but drama in my eyebrows is my favorite thing ever. So it's cool. Be okay with it because I like it and it's my eyebrow. So what I do is I take my same brush and it has just a little bit of product on it still, or you can add more. I take my brush and I define that line, not from the very beginning because I don't want them to look like squares, but I define that line about a third of the way in and take it up to my arch like that. And then I'll take my pigment that's already there and pull it up and meet those two together. Okay, so I do that for a couple of reasons, because I'm missing hair there, because I don't have shape there, because I don't have color there. I do that to create it. Get the other side of that right there. I do that to create all of those things, but I don't want it to be like super, super crazy. And then I'm not putting any more product on here. I'm just gonna take the angle, and that same tip again is right here at the very beginning. I take that and I just pull it up just like that. And it gives me kind of a really soft ombre in the very beginning. So it's not super, super like stark defined top and bottom. You do want the bottom defined. You don't want the top defined or the inner corner. My preference. That I don't want that. I shouldn't say you. I don't like that. And so the same thing on this side. I'm gonna define that line here up on top, pull it down at the tip of my arch down to that point, and then I pull the product back up from the beginning. And if you feel like you're running out of pigment, you're running out of color, it's not a problem to just really lightly tap in there, dip, take that corner right there, and draw little tiny hair strokes. And you can still have really, really nice shaped brows without going crazy. Okay, piece of cake, right? Easy peasy. Now, the only reason I can do that and say that is because I went to an amazing brow artist who microbladed and shaped my brows amazingly. So I have a really, really nice shape to start with. I just have to fill it in. Okay, I use my Sandy highlight all over my eyelids to neutralize that canvas. What that does is it takes all of the extra pigment out of my eyelids. Plus it makes it so that I have that neutral canvas down there. My eyeshadows that I'm going to use, it's gonna make them pop and stand out and the color be more true to color. But because my eyeshadows are powders, I'm going to set this Sandy with my vanilla dust right here. And this makes it so that my powder eyeshadows blend like a dang dream. It's the best thing ever. And I don't have any, I have very, very little fallout with my powders, and I don't get any creasing. Now, if you're somebody who suffers from creasing, a lot of times people tend to blend their makeup on eyeshadow creasing. Most of it has to do with the shape of your eyelid and the skin and the fold in your eyelid. If you have a fold in your skin, you're going to get creasing, but there are some things that you can do to help minimize that. This step is one of them. If you put powder on your lid before you put your powder shadows, you'll minimize that creasing issue that you have later on. And it works fantastic. I am going to use a couple of my very most favorite colors. I obviously am obsessed with pink. I love pink, but I also love pinks on my lids, on my cheeks, on my face, on my lips. I love to wear pink. I love the color pink, but I love it for my eyes especially. I have green eyes, but pinks, for some reason, makes the green in my eyes turn really, really blue. I really like it. So I'm gonna show you some of my favorite colors in the pink family. This first one is called Bend and Snap, and I put it on the lower corner of my lid, and then I pull it up and I open my eyes. I have a little bit of a hooded eye. You can see that tiny little hood right there. Yeah. When I open my eyes, I have a little bit of a hood, and if I were to keep my eyes closed when I did my makeup, then you wouldn't be able to see my eyeshadow, because you can see that I barely have any lid at all through my lashes, especially when my lashes are full. I'm due for a fill. And so they're kind of sparse right now. But if I close my eye, then I'm gonna lose my eyeshadow. So I do it with my eye open, and I actually try to tilt my head back a little bit so that my eye opens even more. And then I put that in my crease and kind of barely above my crease into that, up onto that bone, like the beginning of my brow bone. Same thing on this side. Start at the lower corner and pull it up. I love this color, Bend and Snap. It doesn't matter what color your hair is. It doesn't matter what color your skin tone is. Bend and Snap is the most beautiful. Little bit of shimmer. It's like a really, really soft antique pink. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's so pretty. I love it. Okay, so let me tell you this too. Before I started as a mascara artist, I had no idea what the heck to do with my eyes. I was like, I'm just gonna put a little bit of tan here, and a little bit of darker tan here, and a little bit of lighter tan here, and is that good? You know, that's all I knew how to do. And it was okay, it was fine. I still looked okay-ish, but I was so super anti-know how to do makeup that I looked the same every single day. I was too afraid to play with colors. I was too afraid to play with color placement, and I limited myself and my abilities to create different looks because I was scared, which is stupid, but I was so scared. And then I became a mascara artist, and all of a sudden it became my job to know and to teach people. And I was like, oh crap, okay, I guess I gotta learn. So I did, and it's so fun. I love it now. Okay, so that was Bend and Snap. That was this color right here. Now I'm gonna take Miha. This color is one of my favorite colors of all time. Also, when you purchase this color, all of the proceeds to purchasing this color and another color, this one right here, these two, Miha and Stay Golden, all of the proceeds go towards foster care awareness. Kara, our beautiful, amazing founder, has created a foundation called the 3D Foundation that's all about supporting and bringing foster awareness to the United States and eventually throughout the world. I know it's going to happen because that's how amazing it is. But all of the proceeds for these two colors go towards that. So your artist does not make any commission on these two colors, which I know that we all love and want to support our artists, but it's an amazing cause as well. So I'm putting this, I'm just deepening that outer crease right there, pulling it down. I love this color. It's so good. I wish I could see your comments. I know everybody has positive things to say about fostering because it's amazing. And have you guys gone to see the new movie, Instant Family? I haven't yet, and I need to. I hear it's hilarious. I actually I didn't grow up in a foster home. My parents were foster parents. So my family hosted and raised over like almost 100 foster kids throughout my life growing up. And as soon as I can convince my husband, we'll be fostering as well. Okay. Look at that. And my eyes are so much more blue. I love it. I freaking love it so much. Okay, I'm gonna take my Bend and Snap, pull underneath. Now we're gonna go fast because I've way run out of time. Take my Miha again, pull it underneath. Any colors, if you're afraid of taking your eyeshadow color from the top of your lid down underneath, get over that in a real quick jiffy. Because it does so much benefit to opening up your eye, to finishing the eye color, to creating that finish, that beautiful finish effect. I've gotten to the point that if I don't do it, I feel like my eyes aren't done. I feel like, you know, when you accidentally walk out of the house not wearing mascara and you like are looking and you're thinking, what the heck is wrong with me? I look so weird. It's because you didn't put on mascara. That's how I feel when I don't put my eyeshadow underneath. Okay, I'm gonna use a color called Thin. I can't find it. It is in this other compact. Oh, it's right here. This is Fin, right there. It's beautiful. It is a dark color. Let me show you when I tap into it how much darker it gets. Okay, so it's a dark color that I'm gonna use as my liner. You can also use Cola Contour. The same contour that I used in my brows is an amazing contour. I just particularly like this Fin. It's a little tiny bit softer than Cola as far as the look. And I like a really, really slept in, messy eyeshadow look. I'm not one, like it would kill me if I had to do a cut crease because for one, I'm not artistic enough to be able to do that. And for two, there's definitely a time and a place for it. And I think it looks amazing on a lot of people, but on me, I just look silly. Very, very silly. So I don't do that, probably because I'm just not used to seeing it on me. Okay, Fin as my liner. I'm gonna do the same thing when I line my upper lid. Actually, hold on, before I do that, I'm gonna take a little bit of my linen, my same lighter, brighter accent color that I put here. I'm gonna put right here just to make it like the inner corner of my eye pop just a tiny bit. Again, this is linen. It's my favorite. It doesn't take much. Like I said, a little bit goes a long, long way. Flip my brush around and just soften it up and blend it in. It has such a pretty effect with opening your eyes and giving it just this really nice, soft, blended finish. I love it so much. Now I'm gonna take my Fin and do my upper. God, I keep losing it. It's in this one. Take my Fin and do my upper. And when I do my upper lash line, I'm actually kind of filling in the space in between, get my lashes out of the way, filling in the space between my lashes instead of up on my eyelid. I mean, a little bit's gonna get up onto my eyelid, of course, obviously, but the whole point of eyeliner, the reason eyeliner was created was to give you an appearance of having fuller, thicker, deeper, longer eyelashes. And if you're doing it up on your lid, then you're missing that effect. So same thing over here, fill in the base of my lashes. Now I already, because I have my lash extensions, or because I have my lashes done with lash extensions, I already have really, really thick lash base, so I don't have to do this as heavy or as thick as I would if I didn't have lashes, because I'm already really, really dark right here. Wrong brush. I need to brush out my lashes. Okay, so that's that. Then I'm gonna take my multitasker brush, and this is where Ever-Red comes in again. Guys, I'm obsessed with this color. It's like I said, leopard is the color of the season, and you need to pair it, you need to match it with Ever-Red so that you can be freaking banging. But I want my Ever-Red to be just a little bit deeper, darker color. I have like very neutral, very natural cheeks, very neutral, very natural eyes, even though I have like really dark lashes. My eyes are just naturally dark anyway. But from here up is very soft and very natural. So I'm gonna do my lips just a little bit more dramatic. And I'm gonna take, this is really hard to do while I'm talking, so I'm gonna line my lips with my multitasker brush with the small end, the tiny little tip of my multitasker brush. I'm gonna overline my lips with my Kola contour. So you can see where my vermilion is. I'm just gonna go on the outer edge of it. With Kola. Line underneath with Kola. I'm gonna take my eyeshadow everything brush that I just did my eyes with and not care about what's left over on it. I'm gonna dip into my indigo contour that I used here for my contour and around the edge of my face, and I'm gonna brush it just slightly. Shadow underneath my lip. It's gonna give my lower lip even more of a pout. And then I'm gonna take my Ever-Red. Actually, before I do that, I am going to pull my Kola contour kind of down into my lip. Just like that. Just a little bit of dark all over, okay? So I have a really kind of a darker base of my lip than obviously is natural and darker than I would normally do. But this color, you guys, it's just gonna be banging. So same brush that I just used, my multitasker brush, I'm gonna pick up some of my Ever-Red lip and cheek. Just paint it right over the top. Not get too crazy. My lips are super dry, you guys. I should have put milk on them before I started. If you don't use milk as a lip balm, try it. It's gonna soften your lips like nobody's business. What you think? Love this color. My little picture, the light was a little bit brighter in my icon picture of the 12 days schedule that was put out today, but this is the same color that's on my lips in that picture. I just didn't do the Kola under it. So if you want a reference for not having the Kola under it, check out that little icon picture. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my Pearl Illuminator, because I haven't done Illuminator yet. I'm gonna take my Pearl Illuminator, which is this one right here, right at the top of my cheekbones. Don't worry if you get a little crazy with it. We like crazy. My brow bone, whoa, way crazy. Right here, tiny bit on the inner corner of my eye, which I can't do because my fingernails are 10 million years long. So I'll take my brush, get my excess off on my wrist because I always have makeup there. Tap just a tiny little bit in this inner corner. gonna put just a little right here in the center of my lip. I'm gonna put a little more because I love it. You can do illuminator anywhere you want to. You can do it down the center of your nose, the tip of the bridge of your nose. You can put it at your Cupid's bow right here. So pretty at your Cupid's bow, the tip of your nose. Don't be afraid of illuminator. It's a fun, fun color to use. If you're wearing like a wide neck collar or an off the shoulder, you can put it on your collarbone. And it looks really, really super pretty right there on your collarbone. The edge, like if you're wearing an off-shoulder top or a cold shoulder top, you can put it there. And then take your perfector sponge, which I forgot to get wet. I like this much better wet. And blend. So easy, so pretty. I love it to pieces. I'm gonna take my crazy hair out. Oops, I need some mascara. Hold on. And that's it, you guys. If you are somebody, my makeup stays all day long. I don't have to use a setting spray and I don't have to use stay spray in order for my makeup to stay all day. I don't have any issues with that because I don't have oily skin, because I've used Tres Leches for almost 2 years now, and it's completely changed the dynamic of my skin. I used to be super, super oily. In fact, I was so oily that I used to have to walk around with those oil blotting cloths and de-oil my face in the middle of the day. But since using Tres Leches, I don't have to do that any longer. It's just become, like, my skin has become awesome. I love it. And so I don't use a setting spray very often unless I'm gonna be like out of my house for all day long and I'm not gonna have any opportunity to come and you know, to fix or change my makeup or whatever. So I don't use any of that. But if you're an oily skin person and you want to use the setting spray, if you are using, well, if you use the setting spray, the combination of setting spray and the vanilla dust setting powder or any setting powder, our vanilla dust setting powder is awesome and it fits right into your compact, so it's super convenient. If you're using that, if you have oily skin, you want to use your stay spray first and then use your setting powder. If you have dry skin or if you want a more matte look, do your setting spray first and then your vanilla dust setting powder. Or if you want a more natural, more dewy look, do your vanilla dust first and then do your stay spray. But that's it, you guys. Keep posting your questions. I'll go back. I hope I can see the comments after I log out of here. But let us know if you have any questions. Get with your artist to order these bundles. This bundle is awesome and amazing and you don't want to miss it. Ever Red is a color that is only a holiday edition, a limited edition holiday color. We had it last Christmas. Once it's gone, it's gone. So make sure you get yours, and you can get it with for only $4 if you purchase it with the B squared brush. And you know what? I'm going to tell you a little trick too. I like to use 2 B squared brushes sometimes. There's nothing wrong with having 2, especially it's such a good deal, especially amazing brushes. You can use them. You can use one brush for a while, set it aside, and then when you get around to cleaning it with your Restore brush cleaner, because you need to have Restore brush cleaner because it's the very best stuff in the whole wide world, make sure you do that. But don't miss out on these bundles, these deals, these holiday deals, because they're amazing and awesome and spectacular, and they will save you so much money on things that you already love and want and are so great. These tools are phenomenal. Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I talked so long. I tried to keep it under an hour. Nope, I failed. I'm sorry. Thanks for sticking with me. You guys are amazing. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of the 12 days, and we'll see you later.